Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to TRS Live with your hosts Brian Keller, Matt Schrotz, and Zach Huffman, presented by The Real Shot.
I'ma do this here forever.
EQ.
Forever.
Triune.
Forever.
Yeah.
Forever. I'ma do this here forever.
Let's go.
All you haters better get comfy. This the day you've been waiting on. Y'all road is finna get bumpy. This the track I'm making my statement on. I ain't going nowhere. This the place that I'm making home. I'll do this shit forever. Hit the gas and I'm taking off. Ow. I was born with passion. My job is never ending and my hustle's everlasting. No matter what, I'm gon' ball, even with my back to the wall. And the best part is that this is the beginning. I'ma do this here forever. Forever.
Good afternoon.
Is it afternoon already?
Yeah, well, it's 12:04.
Hey, Brandon, how's it going?
What's going on, guys? What's going on? So,
Do you have that video I sent you yesterday, Zach, that I said we need to play after the intro of the show?
Which one is that?
The one with Grandpa? 'Cause that's
Grandpa?
Kinda, yeah,
I
that's
don't even
kinda
remember seeing that.
I did. It was on the instant messenger. We should go get that.
Merc deer.
I think you should play that as soon as you find it because that's totally how I feel today.
I wore the shirt in honor of opening weekend.
Did you go hunting?
I didn't, but there was people that were marking deer this weekend.
How many years have you not went hunting on opening weekend?
Well, let's see.
Is
How
this
long have I been married?
Oh, well then. Did you find that video, Zach?
I know where it is. I just got to get to it. And
Okay.
I don't know if I went last year or not.
I don't ever go opening weekend. I just don't have time. Morning, afternoon, Eric. I gotta quit saying morning. I'm so used to the show being in the morning. I gotta drink my lunch here.
Yep.
Get ready to go play football tonight. Some foosballs.
You're playing?
I'm not playing. I'm coaching.
Coaching. Head coaching.
Yep. I'm
So-
not the head coach either. I just call the offense.
You're the man. Man, the myth, the legend. It's quieter up here. I don't know.
It is quiet. It's
Not
really,
an amped up Monday.
It's really subdued. Packers won. So that was
Packers
good.
won. I got to watch a good majority of that game. Let's get
Hey, Colin.
the offensive play caller's opinion on what did you think?
For the Packers?
Yeah.
I thought we started out hot. I don't know. I mean, not that that's like some genius thing. If you watch the game, we obviously started out on fire. But I don't know what the Vikings did differently. I know if you
In the
talk
second half?
or like after the second quarter, dude. Like we didn't do shit after the first quarter.
Yeah.
So
We didn't score at all the rest of
no,
the game.
it was interesting. I thought for sure we were going to end up losing that game. It was just gonna be one of those they just keep kind of grinding it out.
Was
I
final
thought they were
21-16?
Yeah, I thought they were going to just grind it out. I thought they were going to just keep running it down our throats. That dude is fast. Like
Yeah.
the running back the Vikings have is fast.
Yeah.
Like holy shit, can he fly?
Yep.
So anyway, I don't know what the offense did differently, other than I still think Rodgers holds on to that damn ball too long. That drives me crazy. Like everything, if you watch in those first three drives where we scored, took a snap, two step, boom, ball's coming out right away. Ball's coming out right away.
Yep.
So either they completely changed their coverage, or Rodgers decided he was just going to hold on to the ball and. How far downfield can I find somebody open to throw it instead of taking that 5 and 10 yard underneath stuff? That's what it feels like to me.
It's chipping away.
But without being at the game and seeing the routes and who's open, who's not open, it's tough for me to say.
Tough on TV. Do you think he's getting along with the new coach? Do you think he's getting along with LaFleur?
I think he's starting to. I think that
He really
there's-
doesn't have a choice.
Well, I agree. I mean, there was one drive he came off barking at somebody, and LaFleur was there. I don't know if that is who he was barking at or if he was barking at him about something else or who knows what, right? But
Right.
that's also just the nature of the beast. I mean, you've been coaching football now for a few games. There's a lot of barking going on at times.
Oh, yeah.
And not always is that it's not always a negative. It's just sometimes it's just the heat of the moment. You're jacked up. The other coach is jacked up. You just start yelling at people, right? So,
Yep. Oh,
I got that video
all right,
queued
let's
up.
play that because this is exactly how I feel today.
That's right. We can't watch it.
Nope. Not yet.
You have often pointed to your ability to reach
Ooh,
across.
politics. Thanks,
Is it
Facebook.
over?
Yeah, that's it.
No, I feel like Grandpa today.
Feel like Grandpa? I want to watch it. I didn't even get to see
Here
it.
it comes. You'll see it now. Grandpa just comes flying in because he doesn't like the brakes.
Oh,
Anyway, that's how I
Dang.
feel today.
dang.
So I don't know. I think the Packers' offense is going to continue to get better. I think they've got more weapons than they've probably ever had.
Adams looked good.
I think Adams looked good. I think Allison's got he's going to be a big weapon. I'm still not a big Jimmy Graham fan.
I was going to say.
I'm not a big fan because I think like all of a sudden they called his name in like the middle of the third quarter for some penalty. I'm like, oh, you were playing today?
Right.
like,
right.
oh, I didn't know you were even out there today. So I think that I'm not a huge fan of him, but I think that they've got a lot of skill. I think the running backs are in good shape. I think the whole line did a pretty decent job. I just think Rodgers thinks he needs like 12 seconds back there in the pocket, and that's just not realistic.
No.
So.
Four max.
Right. 4, I mean, Jesus. He gets like 6
Right.
almost all the time, and he still gets sacked.
Right.
That drives me crazy.
Yeah.
I thought defensively we did a really good job of flying around the ball again still.
959.
9-5-9. You like that, didn't you?
I do. Yeah, my team adapted it.
Did
you?
you?
We haven't quite put it in motion yet, but.
Well, at least you can start thinking about it.
Yep.
So for anybody else, 9-5-9 is a thing that we use in Wayne County football that Coach
Yep.
Riff actually came up with. It's 9 guys within 5 yards of the ball 90% of the time.
Yep.
And you'd be amazed
great philosophy.
when the kids buy into that.
Oh, yeah.
Now they're really flying around.
Yeah, fly around, make a play.
So it gets really hard. Like if you look at our tackle stats, you know, like you'll go to a lot of teams. This kid had 10 tackles. This kid had 18 tackles. On ours, we'll have like 12 guys with 4 tackles.
Perfect.
Because everybody's just showing up, and the stat guy's like, I don't really know who got there first.
Maybe 22 at a tackle.
They're just guessing, or whoever get off the pile last, they give it to him, and there's just no way to know who's.
Yeah, can you imagine commentating that game?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Tackled by Winnicott again.
There's just they always go, oh, pack of wolves. It's corny, but there's just so many guys that you can't. But that's just how we do it.
What's up, Nick? Wags is on here. Don't worry, people. Wags product is coming in.
Yeah, so that's kind of interesting to talk about that because what were we talking about this morning in the meeting? So storm or something kind of screwed the deer all up.
Yeah, and maybe Nick can comment a little bit more on here. But supposedly because of all the storms we've had, it put the deer in a frightened state, you could say. And so they
it's a pheromone thing.
Yeah, pheromones in the urine. So you can't bottle that because you don't want to sell something that's going to spook deer away.
Justin had a really good idea for
Wags.
You should bottle that stuff. Sell it as something you can throw on your neighbor's property.
Yes.
To scare the deer off their property on yours.
On yours.
I thought it was a fantastic idea.
So this is going to get interesting to say the least. So, I think he's talking about the sponsorship thing too.
I don't know.
So so football was a good weekend. Badgers had a bye.
Friday night, not so good for you guys again.
You know, we're progressively getting better.
That's intriguing. I like that. I like hearing that every week you guys are taking a step.
We're little baby steps. The gate should bust open at any week here. We're excited about it. Just you can't take too much longer for that gate to bust open. We're in a conference now.
Right.
You know, but it's fun. I'm having a lot of fun. I got the chance. I was telling Brian and Zach before we went live here is that I got to sit up in the booth and watch over everything, and I liked it a lot more because one of my main roles is I work with the head coach who also calls the offensive plays or the offensive plays. And
you don't want to offend anybody.
I'm not offending anybody.
That'd be really bad.
But, he wants me to jot down plus 5, plus 2, the stats basically. But there was times where he'd walk on the field during a timeout or he'd be out there, and I couldn't hear the play, so I felt bad like, hey, what'd you just call there? So I got to hear everything. I got to communicate what I was seeing, and it makes you more involved in the game.
Oh, absolutely. That's the same thing I do on Fridays. I'm up in the booth talking to the head coach and the defensive guys, and just here's what's happening. We've got that huddle sideline thing, so I can actually watch the replays live.
Yep, we have that
so
too.
I'm just like, you got to get this kid out of there. You got to coach him up on this, or why do they keep running this play over and over and over? Well, this kid's not taking on that block correctly. I mean, just all that little stuff you get to see from up there that you don't.
Yep.
I'm actually got to take some Vortex binoculars with me this next game because
really,
there's just so many in the far corners. Coach is like, who made that? Who did this? I'm like, I can't see it. There's a blur of people over there. You know what I mean? And then a lot of times on the huddle of film, you can't see either.
It was quite interesting because we had to travel up to Menominee. And so we played at 4 o'clock because they ain't got lights. So we were coming back through.
They ain't got lights.
They ain't got no lights up there.
Good thing he's coaching kids.
But we were coming back through Wapaka, and at like 8:30, their game's still only at halftime.
Right.
And we're done. I'm like, I can kind of get used to these 4 o'clock games.
Well, that's what I've got tonight with JV is we play at 4:30.
Yep.
So you're done pretty early.
You're done pretty early, but can you imagine if we would have been playing a 7 o'clock game up there? It'd have been
that's
like
a late-
midnight, 1
well,
o'clock before we were rolling
That's
back
all
into
half
town.
our schedule is. We go to Plymouth, we go to Kewaskum, we go to Kettle Moraine Lutheran. We got all these crazy long drives.
Right.
We don't get home till 11:30 all the time.
It's a long night, especially.
Crazy late.
Do you guys for JV make those same trips? Yeah, that's a long night for those kids during the school
It's a long
week
night
too.
for me. I'm tired by about 10 o'clock.
Yep.
So yeah, we played pretty well Friday night. We came back. It was the first game we had where we knew we were going to get punched in the mouth. Because the first 3 games were not the toughest competition. We knew we were. What's so funny?
Just
Ain't got
Tim
no
DeVoe
lights.
ain't got
That's
no
your
lights.
Marketing director, Brian.
Yeah, well, somebody's. I get what I pay for, Tim.
Right.
I get what I pay
Right.
for.
Hey,
anyways,
times are tough.
Right, so we got punched in the mouth. We actually went into halftime losing by a touchdown and came back and won by a field goal. It won by 2, actually. It was the only game I've ever been a part of in 10 years of coaching where it came down to a field goal.
Well, that'd be fun.
Yeah. And luckily, it came down to an extra point distance field goal.
Right.
Because we marched over, a kid made a fantastic grab. He literally, on a fade, he literally caught the back court of the football.
Fingertips.
Just at full sprint. It was
Suck.
absolutely awesome catch. It was one of the coolest plays.
Oh, Ian's on. Hey, Ian, congratulations, buddy.
But that game came down to a field goal, and
That's fun.
yeah,
Makes it fun football that way.
I don't like that though. It's way too nerve-wracking.
That's what
I don't want.
football's all about.
You're right, but until you're in that coach's position, as I talked to the coach, he's like, I didn't want to put the whole game on that one kid to make that kick.
Right. That's a lot of pressure.
But on the flip side, we were down it was 1st and goal from the 2, and we got stuffed 3 times.
Really?
Yeah. So we got stuffed the first 2. 3rd down, I'm like, hey, let's run something. Let's get the ball in the middle of the field in case we have to kick this. Then it came down to if we were going to kick it or not, and I was like, oh my god. I mean, it's a lot of
Were they all
pressure.
run plays you got stuffed on? or
Yeah. Well,
Drop it over the top.
I know, but you get down in that. You get down to
Yeah,
that
no,
goal
tight-
line.
it's tight quarters.
When you're down, we were down by 2.
Oh.
We were down by 2 because we actually gave up a safety early. We were down by 2, and it was like,
Yeah.
you don't want to take that chance of throwing an interception in the end zone or something because you could kick. I mean, he was 3 for 3 on extra points. He's a pretty
Right.
good kicker.
Yeah, let him kick.
But yeah, that's a lot of pressure on
It is a
it.
lot.
I mean,
What,
woof.
what year is he?
He's a junior,
Oh.
but he drilled it. It was awesome. It was pretty cool.
Rush him, put him up on his shoulders, rush him off the field.
I don't know if we go that far, but
Come
it's
on.
only week 4.
Yeah. It's still fun.
So then we go to Kewaskum tonight with JV, and I've got 4 freshman linemen starting on full level JV. And Kewaskum's a pretty big school, and it's gonna.
Where is that?
It's down towards Kettle Moraine, that area.
Oh, okay.
Campbell Sport in that area. But I already told the kids. I said we're going 5 wide the whole night. We're not even gonna try to run the ball because we're not manned up enough in the inside.
But you feel
compete.
confident enough in them pass blocking?
We just don't have a choice. I don't have a choice. I came up with this whole scheme of shifts and crazy pass concepts, and I got a pretty good quarterback, so
Yep.
he's fun. I told him, I said, we're going to throw the ball 60 times, so just get ready, 'cause this is what's
Just
coming.
make sure you're good loose. Loosen up
I got,
the cannon.
I
Is he a
moved-
righty or lefty?
Yeah, he's a righty. So I got 2 guys at all of our skill spots, and we're going to rotate those guys in hot almost every couple
Yep.
plays.
Coming in real
'Cause
fresh.
we're just going to go, and we're going to just chuck it around, because that's our only shot. Defensively, I think we'll be okay defensively.
Yep.
So if we can get some stops on defense, offensively, who knows what's going to happen. But you don't see too many JV teams go in there, and we're just going to chuck it.
Did Jimmy get some Friday night lights?
No, he's on kickoff.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, he
Hey,
worked
baby
his-
steps.
Well, he went from not being on the depth chart at all 2 weeks ago to he got moved up to varsity practice last week to backing up 3 spots on Friday
Yep.
to actually he was on every kickoff. So
Perfect. Did he make any plays?
yeah, a couple.
Nice.
He's working his way in there.
It's on the radar.
Well, that's just it. And that's what I told him. I said, these kids, I said, and this kind of feeds it feeds right into the sponsorship thing too with these kids, and
Yep.
everybody thinks they should get it right away.
Yep.
Everything's what are you going to do for me now?
Earn
What
it.
am I going to do for you?
You got to earn it.
And I see it all the time in football. Is the kids will come in and they think playing on scout team is like a demotion. And I told Jimmy, I said, you're a sophomore in high school, dude. I mean, it used to be that nobody played varsity unless you were a real freak stud.
Yep.
You just didn't play varsity until you were a junior or a senior, right?
Right.
That's just the way it was. I said, you get on that scout team, and if you can now create havoc for the varsity offense, that's what gets you noticed.
Right.
It's all about being noticed, and that's the same thing with the sponsorships, right? It's about being noticed, and what are you going to do for the companies that you want to you want that funding from? I mean,
Yep.
that's what it is. So I told him, I said, get out there. I said, if you can create some havoc, I said that's what's gonna get you noticed and get you those reps.
Yep.
Because they're like, well, cripes, if this sophomore kid's making issues for a varsity starting defense on scout,
Yep.
What can you do?
Right.
You know, and I think
him a chance.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. You know, no, that's kind of why we wanted to talk about the topic today of, you know, sponsorships. How do I get it? What do I got to do? So on and so
And I
forth.
think a lot of that comes from you get asked a ton.
The store
I get asked a ton.
the store in general gets asked a lot. And see, this is for us, this is a two-way street because with head-to-head fishing it's going on. Like we're full-fledged, we're into it hardcore, and we not only had to go find sponsors, but, you know, we had guys asking us if we, you know, and it's all the time. It's either a donation or, hey, can you help me out?
Oh,
or,
yeah.
And
we turned so many requests down for stuff. It's unbelievable.
well, and we're not the only ones. And that's what was a little humbling for me is when we decided to go try to get some sponsorships for head-to-head is I was on the other side of the totem pole this time, and it was weird because a lot of the companies adapted or have the same kind of mentality we do.
Yep.
First of all, how is it going to benefit us? And most of ours is like outdoor related. You know, kids are a lot of times is a huge thing for us, you know, women, all that kind of stuff. But we have a sheet. Hey, if you want to fill out this required sheet, well, it was different. Zach and I had to fill out a number of sheets. And a lot of times we didn't hear back. I made contacts with a lot of these other companies.
I think the biggest thing for us with this head-to-head thing is timing.
Yep.
I think a lot of the budgets are gone for this time of year. So and I knew that going into it. You know,
Right.
It was just a matter of getting it out there. And I think that's why we pushed so hard to get this first event launched is that we've got some manufacturers and some other people that are interested in this for 2020.
Yep.
And they want to see it. What is it? What is this? I mean, it's not like it's a whole new thing. I mean, there's a lot of other big organizations out there that are running streamed tournaments, right?
Yep.
Like, that's not totally new, but nobody's doing that at a regional level that I know of anyway.
No, and all the guys are totally jacked. But one of the anglers was talking to me in the store last week, and he goes, hey, I'm open to any advice that anybody may have on how to get a sponsorship or what am I doing wrong? How can I get it? So, you know, in saying that, we're not the foremost on how to do it. You know, we struggle at times to make the right connections and so on and so forth, but I feel like with your connections and all this kind of stuff, you have some good insight of what you could look for. You know, and by saying this, let's say Brian's talking about the real shot, doesn't mean, hey, send us an influx of, and this is what I'm going to do this for you and all that kind of stuff. But in the beginning of the season, when we started our affiliate program, that's why we started, is because a lot of people were like, what can I do? How can I get sponsored by the real shot? And basically a lot of them boil down to this. Hey, I fish 3 tournaments a year. I think your name would look awesome on my boat.
Right. And what are you going to, and how much are you going to pay me to put that name on my boat?
Yep.
Well, and I think that's where, again, I go back to the football thing, is everybody want the sponsorship, but they don't want to earn the sponsorship, and they definitely don't want to, like, show you that they deserve it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I think that was these.
Yeah, well, that's a great point right there, Tim.
I agree.
It's a great point. Well, so let's just get right into it. Okay, so
Well,
first,
what Tim says is forget the sponsors, period. Just go fish. The results of the angler will attract sponsors. He's 100% right.
Yep.
100% right.
You got to make a name for yourself, and obviously,
Well, that's just, I mean, think about it. How many times you get somebody, hey, you know, can you sponsor us? You go look at their Instagram. You go look at their Facebook. They got 100 followers.
I was just going to get into that.
What are you going to do for me? You're not going to. I'm all about, if some guy came to me and said, hey, I got a program. I do 4 videos a week. I got 80,000 subscribers on YouTube, whatever. I'll sit down and listen to that.
Right.
Like, you've got some reach, right?
Now,
you've got reach.
Yep.
You got 100 followers. You don't have any reach. You're not selling me anything. All you're doing is costing me money at that point from a business standpoint.
So that's where I would say people got to, with social media the way it is right now, concentrate on that first.
Right. Well, here's the thing with social media that I think we've kind of learned to understand is, I mean, it's with the social media influencer side of things, we get a huge influx of people, like you said, Brian, that have 100 followers, and they say, well, I plan on doing.
Yeah, right. We'll do it.
And it's just like, okay, well, do it, because where you're at right now has nothing for us.
Right.
You're not
know
even.
what I mean?
Well, the other thing is, it's not always about the pure number either. Because
Right.
you can go and buy followers, right?
Yep.
Like, for us, right, for our business, if you've got 100,000 subscribers in India, that doesn't do us any good.
Right.
No.
Right? Like, I'd rather have you have 5,000 just rabid, diehard outdoorsman
Right.
followers that when you go post something, they go check it out.
Right.
Right. That's the stuff that I'm looking for.
And those are the
from a
most
business standpoint.
effective
For
influencers
sure.
too, are the niche influencers that have a couple thousand or whatever that people actually genuinely want to follow, not somebody who went out and spent $500
Well,
to
and
gain
there's a-
100,000 fake subscribers.
How do I put this? There's a
Well,
lot
and that's
of
the key word right there, that influencer. Like,
Right.
we here at the Real Shot looked at some social media influencers. We reached out to some people that we thought would be great candidates for this. And, you know, it was a good learning lesson for us as well,
Right.
because, like, in researching what a social media influencer could cost a company, well, Gary Vee says, like, if you ain't invested in social media influencers, you're way behind.
right.
Way behind. And for those who don't know who Gary Vee is, Brian can elaborate a little more. He's like the god of all.
Yeah, he was one of the original YouTubers.
Right.
Like, he was one of the original YouTubers.
What did he do? He took his dad's.
He took his dad's like wine business from like $2 million a year to like $60 million a year, all via his first
YouTube.
video blog. It was
And all
it
he-
was a video blog, is what he did.
And all he did was just drink wine on camera.
And a lot of it, and the thing was, when he first started, he didn't even know what wine was, and he kind of, and I think that's why the show was so popular. Is it was him learning how to become a wine enthusiast live on camera, and that
Right.
was really
Yep.
at that time was never done before.
Right.
Yep. And so in researching, like, some of these people are super successful as influencers.
Right.
And, you know, learning that person that has 1 million subscribers on, let's say, Instagram, because Instagram's a huge one, is, first of all, super expensive.
Right.
And then because they have so many followers, how many of those people are actually going to buy something that these people recommend?
Right.
Yep.
So we learned that the micro influencer, the people that have 5,000 to 25,000 is the perfect reach, because there's a ratio you can find out from comments and likes that, you know, you're going to figure out that person has a really good success rate of reaching out to their subscribers, and those people still believe that, you know, what they're telling you is the truth. And I think that's where, again, so go back to social media is, and Tim's going to blow us up on this one because he's right in the mix
Oh
of
yeah,
all
Right.
of
he's
this.
right in the middle of it.
And, you know, so first of all, build your social media platform, whether whether
let's
it's
talk
Facebook,
about that for a
Instagram,
minute, though.
YouTube.
And this is where I think a lot of people go wrong too. Is they're too worried about being that guy.
Right.
You know, we hear that all the time.
The number one thing with
I'm gonna
social
have a
media
show
is to be
just.
yourself.
I'm gonna have a show just like this one. Well,
Yep.
that one's already done, dude. The reason that guy's successful is because he's unique
Right.
about what he's doing.
Exactly.
Right? Like if we try to be super polished and over, right? Like we're not.
No.
That's just not how
That's
we
why
are.
I say ain't got, you
Right.
know? That's,
Ain't got no likes.
ain't got no
But if you
lights.
spend all your time worrying about that guy or worrying about that competition or worried about this, you're not doing you.
Right.
Nope.
Right?
That's like the number one thing is when I tell people, you know, after seeing all these things and doing all this research, and, you know, I know people that want to be on social media as an influencer or whatever, it's always, oh, well, look what I'm doing, and I'm copying exactly what this guy, and this guy are doing. It's just like, you know what you have to do is you have to be yourself, and you have to be a likable self.
Well, that's
Because
just
if you're
it.
not a likable self,
Well, if
it's
you're
not
doing
going to
what
happen.
those other three guys are doing, and those guys are really good at it, why don't I
Right.
go sponsor those guys?
Right.
Like you're telling
Right.
me who to go sponsor.
Right.
You know. Well, and then I use sports analogies around here all the time. I think you guys get kind of nauseated with my coaching sports analogies, but it's just so much the same thing. It's like I was talking about tonight, right?
Yep.
You got to be who you are. I've got a phenomenal sophomore quarterback. I've got some speed kids, and I've got a really average offensive line going up against a really big defensive line tonight.
Yep.
So I could do one of two things. I could go try to be what we want to be, which is I really want to establish a run game. I really want to move the ball methodically down the field.
Right.
Going into it tonight, I could try to do that,
Yep.
and I'm going to get my ass kicked. Or I'm going to go back to the drawing board for this week, and we're just going to do what's going to need to be done tonight to try to win.
Yep.
Right.
And that's what we're right. I mean, that's
And you got to play to your strong suits too. You know, if you're not good at a specific something,
right. Exactly. If I didn't have a cue,
until you learn how to do it properly, don't even try to advertise yourself as that.
I agree.
You know.
So that would be a first step. And what I'm finding is I've been trying to build my Instagram profile as best I can, and it's super tough.
Right.
Like for these people that
That's
can,
because you keep your clothes on.
well, thankfully, but true.
Just saying.
It is
To a point, it's the
it is
truth.
blindside. But it's
Just
seriously
saying.
like I've been trying to break like 330 followers, and what it takes to do that is you honestly have to post multiple times a day.
Yeah,
What'd
all
you
the
say,
time.
Gary? If you said like 30
20 times a day minimum.
minimum.
Right. See, now I've looked into that statistic, and that's, to me, does not seem proper because you get drowned out so bad by the algorithms on social media. You're really only supposed to be doing 1 to 3 times a day at the most. But
I'm gonna go with Gary Vee. Just saying. Like he'll take the guy who will be like, he'll be like, how many times you post a day? 20. Go 30. Like he honestly, that's his. He doesn't buy into
And that
those.
guy ain't no BS either.
No,
and
he will
he's
tell you.
successful.
He will tell
but
you.
then, what's, again, like the point we just talked about with your football game tonight is try it. What's the worst that happens?
Right.
But you honestly have to commit to it then.
Absolutely.
And that's the part that I struggle with. And Zach was really good with it for a while. And unfortunately, like, we didn't really pick on you about it, but we're like, dude, you're like, all of a sudden you look at your phone and Zach's got a picture up there. We're like, what did you just take this picture and post it? But you did it nonstop.
Right.
And that's what
Right.
it takes in order, if that's your end goal is to become that person, you need to be on it nonstop. And with a 9-to-5 job, wife, kids, family, husband,
Right.
whatever it may be, it can be time consuming to try to do that. There's so many times where, let's say like Friday, I was out hanging tree stands and messing with tree stands and get my stands prepped for the weekend. That one in my brain was the last thing I wanted to do.
Absolutely.
I thought about it. I'm like, man, this
Right.
is a really good time to recap what I just kind of did. But I had 3 hours to try to get everything done before we had to get on the bus and drive to Menominee. And that 10 minutes or 5 minutes or 30 seconds, whatever it might have been, was taken from my end goal of getting as many stands done as I possibly can.
Right.
But I'm noticing that right now. Like, I haven't posted anything in a while. And I broke it. I'm like 320. I'm like, holy man, this is the highest I've ever been in a long time. But now it's dropping. Boom, 315. And
Well,
I
they
usually
said-
hover right around that 315
Well,
mark.
for instance,
Hot to Trot 5 if you want to follow me on Instagram.
so Ninja, right?
Right.
I'm not a big gamer, but I do play games once in a while.
Right.
But I like watching the shift of the market, right?
Yep.
Like I've been saying for years now with my middle son, he's huge into video games. And everyone's like, oh, that's terrible. You can't play games. Where are you going to go with that? Well, you know what was on ESPN News this weekend? They had a
Esports.
game tournament, dude. Because esports is now here. Go back to Gary Vee. Now I follow the shit out of him because
He's knowledgeable.
he's been doing it for a long time and he's really into it.
Yep.
Like, he's like really into it, and he thinks esports is going to be one of the top 3 biggest sports in the country.
Oh,
Now,
yeah.
I don't know if it's
It's gonna
obviously
happen.
football. I don't know what
Yep.
2 is or whatever. But if you think about it, and I've said this for years, is football. The reason I've always liked football is, number one, it teaches the kids so many things that they don't learn in the school environment, right?
Right.
The battle and the adversity and coming together and the brotherhood and
Yep.
all that kind of stuff, right? But if you look at the football team, there's 50, 60 kids, 70
Right.
kids on a really big team. There's 150 in the stands, right? For
Yeah.
every one kid on the team, there's probably 4 kids in the band.
Right.
Right.
That's true.
Right, and I'm not picking on the band kids, but I'm saying that's where the esports is so huge because
Yep.
anybody can do it. You know what I'm saying? Like football's a cultural thing because it's like modern day gladiators, right?
Right.
Like we get to watch on Sunday these guys just try to tear his heads off and all that kind of stuff, and that's a big part of
Right.
the culture of that, right? It's kind of that modern day gladiator thing, and we all grew up with it. That's why in America, football is such a big deal.
Right.
American football, where we don't really get into soccer as much because we didn't grow up with that, right?
Right.
Nobody goes to the stadium on Friday night with 1,000 people there and a band playing to watch soccer,
Right.
right?
Doesn't happen.
Friday
story.
night, the
True
lights
story.
are on. You think about football, and we're
Like
gonna
a high
just-
school football game. A lot of times, I drive by like Appleton East or whatever a lot because it's right here, and you see pack stands,
Oh.
pile of cars everywhere, people
and the
everywhere.
thing is
and then a high school soccer game is like one bleacher with 16 people on it.
See, I told my son that for years because now he's a sophomore. I told him for years. I said, "There's nothing like Friday Night Lights.
Oh,
You'll
that's awesome.
you'll
Right.
never replace the feeling your entire life. If you never played under the lights on Friday, you don't understand it. I don't know how to describe it. It's just, it is what
It's
it is.
epic.
Yep.
There's just something about it, right? And he was like, this was the first year being on the field. He doesn't even get to play that much yet. And he's like, Dad, he goes, I just felt it. I'm like, I know.
Yeah.
Like, you can't like explain it. It's just the lights are on, the people are there, everybody's screaming. Your mom's even wanting you to rip the kid's head off.
Yep.
you know, all these. It's crazy.
And that same feeling is intensified for the players, but the parents,
the whole thing.
everybody in the
Right.
stands loves that same
whole
feeling.
thing.
That's why I wish Wisconsin was this way. Maybe there's some towns, but that's why like Texas shuts down
Oh,
during Friday night
for
football
real.
games.
Right.
because they love it. They'll shut businesses down. I mean, that's what you do.
Yep.
I mean, maybe that's something that's all on TV
No,
and
that's
they're
totally
just hyping
real.
it up. But
no, that's
it's,
totally real.
but I
actually
mean,
happens.
a lot of those southern states are that way. You look at their fields and they're like small colleges.
When I was in high school, my mom was actually the cheerleading coach. When I was in high school, which is like 20 years ago now.
Yikes.
Anyway, she had a couple of girls come up from Texas for some cheer camp thing or whatever, and they were from Texas, and they said like Varsity Blues. That is exactly how it is.
Really?
They said that is exactly how it is on Friday. The whole town shuts down. There's pep rallies at 10 o'clock in the morning. It's nothing but football.
Right.
That's it.
So Alex has a comment on here. He goes, I'm really impressed with your guys' knowledge on this topic. So much more goes into choosing social media influencers than most people would think. Coming from the advertising industry, it's great to hear someone with that actually know what they are talking about.
Well, Alex, I think that comes from a necessity from us.
Yep.
I think that the TRS Live is an example of that. Head-to-head fishing is an example of that. We don't have the money financially to compete with the big box stores from a competitive standpoint. Like, I don't have $50,000 a day to spend on,
No.
And you think that, well, nobody's spending that. Oh, yeah, they are.
Oh, for sure
they're
they
spending
are.
huge amounts of money on this
Yep.
stuff. We don't have those kinds of fun being a small independent retailer. We had to get creative in how we market. Right? So I sat there and I said, okay, I can either spend all this money and go to Fox and spend advertising and stuff, or I bring Matt into it, go get Zach, and
Yep.
we're just going to do it ourselves.
Right.
Yep.
And the beautiful thing with the internet is that we can do that.
Right.
Whether or not it's successful or not, that's up to us. But that's where a lot of this research comes into. Listening to Gary, we talk about it constantly.
All the time.
On what can we do to be better? What can we do to get more views for us? And the last thing I'm worried about is chasing anybody else. I mean, I just don't operate like that.
Right.
We're just going to do our thing. And
But that's exactly it, though. Going back to the sponsorships and in our business, too, is you can't worry about what other people are
Absolutely.
doing.
I don't
Even
really
if they're
care.
directly related to what you're doing and in your field, you can't worry about anybody else because at the end of the day, they're doing what was successful for them. Now you just have to do you and hope that you can be successful as long as you work hard at it.
Well, and for Zach and I, we find that just doing those fun, like blooper-style advertisements, commercials is what really works best for us.
Right.
agreed.
I mean, we shoot the office-style videos.
People are so sick
and they
of
love that kind of stuff.
Stuffy.
And it's fun for us to do it. It's
Right.
not a hard portion of the day to go shoot an entertaining video.
And with the internet being our main platform for where we market, I mean, yes, you turn on the TV and you expect some guy to stand there and go, hey, yes, come into my store because we've got this, this, and this. And it's like, okay, cool. On the internet, nobody wants to see
I'm going
that.
to take a nap now.
Right. And on the internet, nobody wants to see that. Especially in an industry like ours, in a store like ours, is if it looks homegrown because it is homegrown, that means it is homegrown.
Right.
You
and
know?
that's why sometimes it's maybe not that professional. Maybe, we are what we are.
Well, and how many times have we had a talk about, and we're kind of off tangent a little bit, but not really, but like, well, this company's doing videos like this. Maybe we should try doing videos like this. We give them a shot, and maybe they're
And they
successful,
almost
maybe they're
never
not.
work. The best videos are the ones we just come up with while we're sitting around just bullshitting. Seriously. they
Yeah, it
are.
really is. Really
It
is.
is.
I mean, Zach and I put a little pressure on them. It's like, the last one, the price match one.
Right.
And that all just stemmed up because we had a message on Facebook. Do you guys price match? Well, for 10 years, the Real Shot's
Right.
been in business. We've always price
Almost
matched. 9 years.
9.
We've price matched, right? That's been something that we've done. And we decide, okay, do we price match internet stuff? Do we not? Well, now with the way the internet is, you almost have to price match.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And,
Right.
with map policies and you got to hold true to this pricing. Well, unfortunately, that ain't the way it is either because big box stores can do whatever they want and we can't do what we want.
Although we're getting closer.
We're getting closer, but we got called out on it just recently
We
with
did.
some broadheads that we have online. And we just finally said, you know what? Slap us on the wrist because we're fine with that. I mean, at this point. So, but it's just, we just got to do what we do, and it works best for us. Like the gun videos were really successful when we focused on. I mean, a lot of things are head-to-head right now.
Right.
It's only, 2 weeks away
It's 2 weeks away.
before we – so back to it. And, Alex, I see your comment on there. Yeah, I'll reach out to you. Let's talk about stuff. I mean, obviously, you got some pretty big magazines that you work with, and maybe there's a portion of it for us in there. So, okay, back to it. So, sponsorships. What can you do to get more sponsorships?
Number one, coming in with 100 followers.
Right.
Don't do that.
Build it. Build
do
yourself up. And like TJ said, just go out and fish. Go out and hunt. And then if that's your way to go about it, bring a camera along with you.
Yep.
And we found out.
Well, but that's the other thing too is the camera thing. I know the video is big for a lot of different aspects.
Yep.
But if you're not comfortable on camera, don't do that.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Like, if you're not comfortable on camera, don't try to chase Instagram. Don't try to chase the Facebook video stuff. Maybe you're better off writing blog articles for somebody.
That's a great
Taking
point.
pictures. Maybe you're good at that.
I mean, honestly, here at The Real Shot, we struggle with blogs.
Yeah, because none of us can write for shit.
Well, obviously, I can't talk either.
Right,
You
that's
know,
what I'm
we
saying.
can't write. We
See,
can't.
but I'll take a little bit for that because I can write. I just still don't understand half the stuff we want to write about.
Well, see, like, I can't write.
But, I mean, to sit down and do a blog post half an hour,
Right.
easily of your
Right.
day, and that's on.
Well, but
that's probably being somewhat
let's-
fast.
But even like videos, like Zach wants me to do videos once in a while. If you put me in front of a camera and you're like, talk about how to do this, I'm like,
and
But I can sit on here and do this, and I can do the commentator stuff, and I can just talk
Yep.
for hours about the topic. It's not. It's just I can't sit there and be like, this is
But
how we.
then again,
It's just not me.
I'm gonna argue that point because when we first started doing videos here, like Mark and I was the same way. Now it's second nature. and
You just gotta do it.
You just gotta do
Once
it.
you
But
get used
then
to it,
again,
it's
but
if
it
you
won't
look at-
become.
look-
But you were natural at it from the get go.
But you look at the
I
same.
watched you try to pick up girls way back at trade shows. You were just naturally a talker from the get go, Matt. That's why I went and hired you from the get because you're right. You're a passionate talker.
Right.
So that's why it was. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
Luckily, Molly's probably it's working.
Yeah, she's at school. But anyways,
She doesn't watch this. I guarantee that.
No.
so.
to my point is, I'm watching Nick and I'm watching Tony in the fishing side of it all, and they didn't want to do any of them at all at
Right.
first. We struggled so hard to get
Right.
because
Right.
we decided as a store, it's like, hey, Matt has no problem doing these, but not everybody wants to listen to me, and it's very apparent a lot of times that nobody really cares what I have to say. Let's go through Nick. Let's go through Tony, the guys that touch the stuff daily, hear the insights from what's coming in from their streets.
Right.
But they didn't want to get in camera. But now they're more comfortable doing
Well, a lot
it.
of that's all Zach does a pretty good job.
Oh, he does a great job. He's
He's a very calming influence.
He does a great job. But you can get used to the camera stuff.
I think so. You can, but I'm just saying if it's not what you're good at.
Right.
Right.
Well,
Chase-
let's
But that's
Yeah.
exactly it. If you're trying to go out there and be an influencer of any sort, you have to play to your strong suit because if you are not good on camera and you're self-conscious about it,
then take
I'm not
pictures.
trying to be that guy, but just take pictures.
Take
be the
pictures. And
Instagram influencer.
That's a really good. You can
because
get-
anyone can selfie talk on their camera on their
Yeah.
phone, right? So if you want to make a story, that's great. But if you can get good at taking pictures, play to that strong suit instead of trying to talk and,
and
then
you can get
bumble and
published.
then
You can get in.
Yeah.
You know, people will buy your photos for social media and or magazines and or
Right.
wherever else.
I do think we're kind of talking two different things, though. We're talking the influencer thing and then the sponsorship thing. Like, if we're
Right.
talking specifically sponsorships for tournaments,
Yep.
that's
Right.
where TJ's spot on.
Right.
Just
Right.
go out there and kick everyone's ass.
Yep.
And people, you don't
Right.
even have to ask.
And now he said something in a comment before that really speaks true is these high school and colleges and everything, and even just the internet in general, shows these kids and these even adults now what these guys have achieved. And what they show them is they have all the lights to fame and the awesomeness with sponsors. And then these guys and these kids think that, okay, so to get there, I need sponsors. To do that, I'm going to go ask for sponsorships.
Yep.
And not just go put in the hard work to get noticed.
Well, part of that's because it's expensive.
Right.
I mean, that is a part of that argument against what TJ's saying is you can fish the local stuff,
Right.
or whatever, but to get noticed, you got to fish bigger level tournaments for the most part.
Start
and
putting-
that shit ain't
But
cheap.
that's a hard thing is, though, is then to play even devil's advocate off of that is you got to pay to play. And
Well,
you
I
got to
agree.
make the right
But that's
sacrifices.
where a lot of the kids don't have the money to do
Right.
it because they're in college or they're starting a new family or
Right.
whatever.
Correct.
And that's why I thought the head-to-head format was it could be so revolutionary is that it's not like it's a new thing like I said before,
Right.
but it's new at the level it's at.
Right.
Right? Like Bass is doing tons of streaming stuff and college events, and obviously MLF is doing it. And they're doing all these cool streamed tournaments and all this other stuff. That's great. But nobody's doing it at that local, regional type level that could get somebody noticed.
Yep.
Right.
And that's where I think it's got its own little niche there. There
Right.
again, same thing, just like we're talking about the influencers. I'm not going to go attack Bass. I'm not going to go after MLF. That's idiotic.
Right.
It's like Bass has been around since forever.
Right.
MLF is obviously growing gangbusters and it's huge. Why would I think that I'm from Appleton, Wisconsin, we're going to create something that's going to be at a national level?
No.
That's stupid. Right now, maybe it goes to that point. Who knows? But I'm not going to sit here spending my
Well, you got to
tires
focus
trying-
step by step.
Right, I'm not going to sit here and spin my wheels for 10, 20 years worrying about that. If that happens, that's just going to happen.
Yep.
Right.
And like Tim says here is, nearly every pro angler I've met has hit rock bottom. Well,
I
it
don't
came from
disagree with that.
And that was when we went to the Classic, most of those guys said that.
Oh, yeah.
I was working construction.
Well, I think that's
or
why so
like
many of
listening
them-
to Jesse Wiggins the last time and Brandon Coulter the last time, during head-to-head when we did the seating show.
I think that's why so many of them get so emotional when they
For sure.
hit it
Right.
big or make it big. It's like, oh, my God, I finally did it.
Right?
Right.
You know what I mean?
It took years. It's not like they woke up one day and be like, I'm going to go fish pro,
Yep.
and then next thing you know, they're fishing pro.
Right.
And that's kind of getting into the next point is if you also want to know how to go out and get sponsors, go listen to the last TRS Live, the head-to-head seating show.
Yeah, those guys are
'Cause
awesome.
Brandon and Jesse did a phenomenal job. They went above and beyond what I thought that they were going to do. Not to, sorry guys, but anyways, like they were critiquing resumes to a T.
Oh, yeah.
So there
Right.
you go.
Punctuation,
Punctuation,
spelling,
yes.
layout.
Huge.
Did they actually
It
take
really-
the time to list out their tournaments they fish, or did they just say, I fish a lot?
Right.
You know what I mean?
And that's exactly what you have to do, though, is you have to be punctual. You have to be,
Right, yep.
a well-versed person, because a company that's going to come at you with a sizable sponsorship wants a proper representation of their company.
Well, it
You
also
know?
shows, like, when I look at that, I don't necessarily care about the finishes as much as I care about that the guy took the time to
Right.
spell it all out for me. Because if he's going to spell that all out for me, he's not going to take shortcuts and other stuff that we might ask him to do.
Yep.
You
Right.
know what I mean? Like, are you going to come in for an in-store event? Are you going to actually go on the road and try to get people to go to therealshot.com and buy stuff?
Right.
Because at the end of the day, that's why I'm sponsoring you, is so that you get people to come to our website to buy stuff.
Yep.
And that's right.
Correct.
Right.
Evil capitalism there.
Well,
right?
and we're finding that out with our Wisco stuff.
Right.
We're main title sponsor on that one, and we kind of got some people we're rooting for because we know that end results is we're going to definitely get our money's worth out of those individuals if they may win. So, again, a big thing is again, just if you also want to know how to get a sponsorship, go watch that head-to-head episode because
they did a great job.
those guys broke down every angler to a T for the most
Right.
part. And then they gave out great advice because they went through that in their lives.
Right.
Can you imagine what their resume started at and what their resume looks like now? And not only are they they're producing results by fishing some of these things. Jesse was one of the first ones to say, like, man, Winnebago for him was tough. That was a tough trip.
Right.
But, he still did what he needed to do to represent the guys that are behind him 100%.
Right.
And so that's what I just think that one was so much. That was an eye opener for me, and what those two professionals look at on this level. And so there you go. And that's kind of what I told that guy. I said, watch your head-to-head ranking again. He goes, dude, I've watched it like 100 times. And I reached out to somebody and I got rejected. Well,
good luck.
There
Get
you
used
go.
to that.
It's
Yeah,
just like
absolutely. You got to get used to it because
you
it's just
have
like
to get,
it's like trying to date. You're gonna
Yep.
get rejected by a few people before you find someone to be with. It's the same thing with sponsorships. It's the same thing with jobs. I mean, and just start from scratch and try and apply for jobs. How many times are you going
right.
to get the email that says, "Nah,
Nothing-
we went with other candidates"?
Nothing worth it. It's ever easy.
No.
No.
I tell kids football again. I tell kids that all the time. If you're on the defensive line or you're a linebacker that's blitzing and you're like, you just go flying through the line. You're like, this is like the easiest splits of my life. It's probably because they're running a fucking screen pass, dumbass. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's the
Right.
same. It's right. I know I use sports analogies to nauseum, but think about that.
Yeah.
Like if you're that defensive end in the whole game, just you and that kid have just been battling out every single play, right? Sometimes you get there, sometimes you don't. All of a sudden, there's one play. It's like 3rd and 15, and I got a free shot at the quarterback. Oh shit!
There's the ball.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, if
Right.
it's too good to be true, it probably is. You know, and
Right.
trying
Right.
to get kids to think like that is not always the easiest.
Well, like Scott says here, too, he goes, I know a lot of guys on the walleye circuit that only get T-shirts and they still fish, kick butt, and love it. It's all what you have to do, actually need. Well, that's a great point, too. Like, don't go to these guys.
If you don't need it,
Well, and don't say, like, hey, how about $1,000? I mean, people don't realize $1,000 is a lot of money for any company, anybody, anywhere.
Especially if there's no
Start-
guarantee.
It has to have tangible
Right,
reasoning.
that's my thing though. Everybody thinks that their jersey's worth something. Well, how many pictures are really taken of you that actually get seen by anybody other than your family?
Yep.
That actually anybody cares, right?
Right.
So where a lot of them are going to start is they're going to offer you a slight discount on product.
Yeah, and that's a pretty standard in this industry. Is
and
like
it's huge.
you have to just prove yourself, because if you haven't proved yourself, why does any company want to give you anything? You know what I mean? So they're going to start you off and say, okay, well, here's a discount. Start using our product. So if you go to this company that you don't even use their product or believe in it, then why are you even talking to them?
Right.
Head-to-head's another perfect example of that. I know we're taking a bath on it this year to get this thing going because I got to have that tangible footage that it's
Right.
gonna look badass, so we can take it to people and say, now this is why you want to get involved in this.
Right.
If we just go to them with a piece of paper and says, I got this harebrained idea like 9 years ago. You want to give me some money? Who's gonna do that? Like, why? I mean, even expecting them to do that is idiotic.
Well,
Right.
and we've talked to some companies already, and they say the same thing. They're like, this sounds really, really awesome. Now, next year, when it comes to fruition, they're going to be like, okay, not only did it sound awesome, it is awesome. We want to be a part of it.
Right, and that's.
Right.
I mean, you got to roll the dice on some of that. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's a total flop. I don't know. I don't think like that. I don't operate like
Right.
that. I just go and sometimes
But
my ideas suck. And sometimes
everything
they're good.
worth reward comes with a risk.
Yep.
Well,
I
yeah.
mean, everything and everyone that's ever been successful without prior funding is because somebody somewhere took a risk to make it happen.
Yep.
I think the other trap guys fall into, back to this T-shirt thing. I got to be careful when I talk about this. Guys are so starved to have a logo on their boat or on their truck or on their whatever. They're willing to do it for anything.
Yep.
And all you do is price yourself out of the market almost. You just
Right.
undervalue yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So if you don't really need it, just it's totally cool to fish in a boat, and it's totally cool to fish in a shirt that doesn't have a bunch of patches on it or logos
Right.
on it. It doesn't matter. Last time I checked, fish don't give a shit.
Right.
True
So
story.
you're almost by doing that, you think you're getting in with all these companies, but if you just get in and take all these discounts, you're not paying any bills of the discount.
Nope.
Right.
It's not helping you at all, other than, obviously you're
alleviating
saving,
your
well, you're
stress,
saving
but-
a little bit of money based on, I use a bunch of this stuff, so I get 10%. Okay, great.
Right.
So there is that, but I'm saying as a whole, it's not really paying your bills, it's not paying your entry
Right.
fees, it's not paying gas, it's not paying time away from work, all that kind of stuff, right? Time's money. You'd almost be better off just focusing on the fishing. Don't worry about all that shenanigans. Just go catch fish. Get a sponsorship when it actually means something.
Right.
Does that make sense?
And if you do a good enough job, you're gonna get approached, because if you're doing the fishing and you're doing the advertising of yourself, say on like nowadays social media,
Right.
If you show up and you've got nothing but just a hook shirt on, but you just won the biggest tournament in the state, now you have something to show for. Who cares what logos are on your jersey until you get those meaningful jersey logos that actually do something for you.
Right.
Not
And
just, hey, this.
We get that quite a bit here. Can I put the real shot on my jersey?
Sure.
Do you think we're going to tell them no?
right. Well, and that's the other thing is if I got a guy that's like, hey, I'll wear a hat for free. Okay.
Right.
Why would I stop him?
Right. But like to what you guys just got done talking about, I see that all the time in the hunting industry. These guys that hunt just like I do, hunt to hunt, get lucky or not lucky or shoot a real big deer.
Yep.
And now next thing you know, you got companies reaching out to them because, hey, I use this product, and they never once called it out.
Right.
But the picture is this bow or this gun or this
Right.
camo pattern, or they're going to call you up and be like, hey, that's cool. You're wearing real
Because
tree.
they went out and did it.
Right. You're wearing real tree. I'd love to come talk to you about this deer. And now next thing you know, or Hoyt or
Right.
Matthews or whatever it may be.
But the cool thing about the hunting industry, though, is you almost have to go out and do it, because what if somebody came to us and said, well, I plan on going out and shooting a 220 this year. And you go, you plan on that. You didn't do it, but you plan on that. Where are you going to find it? Right. You know what I mean? Like,
Well,
that
look at
plays into it.
who came to us this year and asked us to help sponsor something that they were started. And the guy came in here and he's like, yeah, so we're looking for a sponsorship. And Zach and I are like, okay,
Yeah, let's see it.
what do you got? And it was kind of awkward at first, right?
Yeah.
and then Zach and I ended up, you're maybe better than I'm going to say I'm a novice at what it takes, but I've learned. I've done a little
Right.
homework. I've researched things. And we ended up coaching this guy. First of all, dude.
Didn't it turn out they didn't even have a show shot yet?
Correct.
Yeah. And they didn't know.
It's like 6 months before air date, and there's
Again,
nothing.
like, I'm not trying to poke fun.
Not at all.
I think this
Because-
guy left this meeting with a little bit of education.
Right.
He didn't know air times. All he knew is this costed us this much money. We need to recoup that money because we're all broke now.
Well,
Right.
that's the biggest issue. These people that think they want a TV show. I'm like,
And
what are you
that-
doing? It's 2020 almost.
Yeah,
TV is
YouTube
dead.
accounts are free.
Like TV is
That's
dead.
what we told him.
Don't waste your time
You know,
on TV.
and it's cool because we
God.
hope we always anyone who comes to us, no matter what they're trying to do, and if we say no, we still hope the best for you because we want to see everybody
Oh,
succeed.
100%.
But at the end of the day, if you're not prepared, you don't even know what you're doing.
Yep.
Why are you even asking for a sponsorship if you haven't even figured out what your direction is yet?
Yeah, and the numbers that they were asking for, because this is the same time we were going door knocking for head to head,
Right.
And we were asking for $500. This guy was asking for thousands of dollars.
Right.
It's because we're smarter than that.
Right.
Well,
mean,
not,
well-
not that, but it's like
No, it's that, man.
you gotta
It's
come.
that.
There's
you
no
gotta-
sugarcoating on TRS Live.
No, but
Yeah,
that's what
it's
it
the
is.
truth.
You got to be smart about it. Like I
Right.
think that it's way undervalued for what we're going to give these people, but that's why you got to start it.
Oh, right.
You got to you got to undervalue it and
Right.
how am I trying to say that?
It's just like a business. I mean, you have to have the upfront ability to do
Over
something to
promise
be able
and
to do it.
undersell, right?
You want to do it the other way around though.
Under promise.
You want to
Under promise and over deliver.
You want to
Under promise and over
Yeah,
deliver.
see, there you
we
go.
go.
It's like when you're. Do you got a drink ready?
No, I
Oh,
don't.
we're talking about
I
it?
am drinkless.
It's like
Where's your power?
I'm already done.
energy
This is
shake?
my lunch. I'm
just
done.
pretend there's a drink in there. No, it's just like sales. You know, if somebody asks you how much is this car going to cost me, well, I'm not gonna. I physically probably can't tell you right now. So maybe I'm going to tell you an inflated price. You're going to set your expectation for that. Now when I come at you 500 or 1,000 less, you go, wow, that's amazing. You did me so well. Instead of just going, oh, thanks for doing what you told me 2 weeks ago.
Well, and Tyson has a really good point. And to the sales
I've got a great story about that. Is exactly a Tyson's.
Well, and back to your mom commented on the sales training, says you get at least 5 no's for every one yes. So there
Yep.
you go. So you have to be okay with being a salesperson.
Oh, absolutely.
And not a like a blow smoke at your face. You know, you have to be legit and tell the way it is.
Right.
Yep.
But you have to be selling yourself first and foremost. In order to get a sponsorship, you better be a damn good salesman.
Yeah, because I mean, no matter how many wins you have, I mean, if you come off as
You're like
a
Ricky
dick,
Bobby.
like,
Well, their show's real good. Our car ran real
Well,
well.
if you
I
just
know
don't have
nobody.
And if you don't chew big red, then I'm not gonna say the rest of it.
Even look at the progressions of Ricky Bobby, baby. He didn't know what to say at all on TV, and then all of a sudden he's
yeah, I'm pretty much the best.
best. I wake up, I piss excellence.
But that's exactly it. And that's actually, you know, as much as it is a funny movie, that's a great deal to watch for yourself if you are looking to self-promote.
You just want
It's
to go
100%
fast.
perfect.
You just
Because
want to go fast.
Ricky Bobby, he had a dedication to doing one thing, and that's going fast.
Yep.
He
wanted
did
to
it,
win.
and then he
His
learned the
life's
rest
motto,
of it.
if you ain't first, you're last, right,
Right.
Ricky Bobby? There you go. So there you go. Go out, watch head-to-head with the seating show, and go watch Ricky Bobby. Go watch Talladega
Talladega
Nights.
Nights.
And you'll
You're
learn
gonna
some
be-
knowledge.
You're going to be
learn some
the
knowledge.
best sponsored guy out there in
And
the
you're gonna want to
industry.
chew big red by the end of it.
Yeah. Jack Hawk, 9,000.
We should get sunglasses made, special made, like big fishing sunglasses, but then it just has Fig Newtons across them. While you're fishing, just turn around. I can't see shit, but I sure do love Fig Newtons.
So for I want you to tell your story about what Tyson says.
Well,
but
so he was talking the difference between a promotional angler and a professional angler.
Right.
Okay, I'm like borderline. I used to fish the walleye tour a lot, so I don't know if I'd ever call myself a professional, but I did it for like 10 years. I was relatively successful.
you spent a lot of money to lose money.
I know,
right?
absolutely, 100%.
Gambling.
Oh yeah, it's right, for sure. But I was relatively successful at it. Well, I had a co-angler at one time. This was back when Selma Hornets were a big deal, right? And this is what really, because I was pretty naive to the whole sponsorship thing. I just fished. I didn't care. I just wanted to catch fish. That's all I wanted to do.
Yep.
And Selma Hornets were a big deal, and we're all trolling and fishing. He's like, oh, what's that? Like, the Selma Hornet. Oh, never seen one of those before. You know, went through this whole spiel, caught our fish, whatever. 2 days later, he's on Facebook all over the place. Selma Hornet pro staffer. I'm like, Jesus Lord. That's when I really started.
Had no clue.
He'd never seen the bait before. He was in my boat. Never seen it before.
Was he actually a pro staffer?
Well, I don't know. I mean, anybody can be, I guess, if you want to put their logo on it and call yourself a pro staffer, right?
Right.
So I don't know. I'm not going to call that guy out, whatever. But that just opened my eyes to the whole difference. Exactly what Tyson was saying about the professional versus the promotional guy. And
Right.
any company is going to let you promote their stuff for free, right? And there we have a guy that now, if you were going to literally go to that guy, and this is why I don't align ourselves with a lot of those just strictly promotional freebie guys, because
Right.
I've built this business around product knowledge and guys with expertise, right?
Right.
With the exception of Matt. I'm just kidding. You were a really good ball salesman, Matt. I'm sorry.
He's got the product knowledge at least.
Right. Anyway. No, Matt actually knows what he's doing. I'm just kidding. But anyway, so I built this business around that knowledge, right? Because how are we going to be different as a small independent retailer and all these big
Right.
box stores with all this money for marketing? When you walk in these doors, you're going to talk to somebody who knows 1,000 times more than you do, more than likely, about whatever it is you're looking for.
It's not like going to Home Depot where you walk in there going, I know more than you. It's like
I
you
used
come
to
in
go
here
to
and
the
you
other
know
like
things.
Gander Mall. I used to walk in there and I was like, nobody here can help me.
Well,
There's literally nobody here that can help
That's
me.
like me going to Best Buy. As I walk in there, like, oh, what can we do for you? What are you
Absolutely
looking for? And I'm
nothing.
just like, absolutely nothing. Just let me do my thing, and I'll tell you when I'm ready to check
just
out.
Get out of my way.
Maybe back at the register.
So I've tried to build this business around guys that actually are users. And what
Right.
I mean by that is when they're not here, they hunt and fish.
Yep.
Like when you look at Justin Montuz, our fishing buyer, and you look at him, you're like, he fishes a lot.
A lot.
Why is that? It's because he's got the big suntan line from the sunglasses. Like
Right.
when the dude isn't here, he's on the water.
Yep.
Right? You can't be a good fishing buyer if you don't ever fish.
Right.
And that's
Right.
where a lot of these other companies struggle, right? Like archery rides. Like if you come in and you meet Matt Eggert, the dude like lives and eats and sleeps. He's got two things on his mind: canning food and archery.
Archery stuff.
That's it.
Right.
He doesn't hunt and fish.
Literally.
He shoots stuff. That's all he does.
Yep.
Same thing with Steve and the guns. That's all they do.
Yep.
Like, you know, I mean, I'm kind of a chameleon. I try to go around, but that's also why I don't put myself in those positions.
Right.
Because I want that guy to come in the store that's a really gun aficionado. I want him to walk over to the counter and go to Steve and be like, "Oh my God, this guy
Does
can,
know
like,
what he's-
sweep the carpet with me," and I thought I knew a lot.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, right? Like if you and I were behind the gun counter, he's not going to get that same.
Nope.
He's not going to get that same experience.
First
He's
of
gonna-
all, neither one of us is going to pretend like we even know what the
No,
hell we're
but
talking
that's,
about.
but that's why I'm not.
We're
on the
gonna go like
floor.
this. Stop talking for a second. Let me go get Steve or Mark, who actually know what the hell they're
Right.
talking about, and then I'll be right back
that really-
just to learn from
So
them.
that whole
while they're-
thing really correlates directly to the whole sponsorships. And
Yep.
at least how I view it.
Right.
So anyway, yeah. Pro staff for 48 hours after he never even knew the bait existed. Best
Well,
bait ever.
And that's what
Trust
people,
me, you have to fish. I don't even own one yet because they haven't been delivered. But trust me,
Trust me,
you gotta
they're-
use
They're
these.
awesome.
Right.
Well, and that's what people forget that pro staff stands for is promotional staffer. It ain't freaking. You're
It's not
not
professional.
professional. You ain't getting paid for it. You're promoting it, and that's what a lot of companies are doing right now. Is exactly what Brian said.
Right.
Hey, here's 10% off. Go brag for me.
Right.
And then you're
Okay,
still
yes.
buying it, and I'm still making money off you.
Right.
You're not.
Thank you
You're not
very
making money off
much.
of me. We're still making money off you.
See,
Well-
that's why we don't, and that's why we get asked a lot. But I don't do that because I just don't. I don't want to get into that.
Well,
I don't want
we
that
found that
brand.
out.
I don't. It's not helping anybody, and honestly, it just hurts the industry. The more if companies would stop doing that as much and just paying the guys that are actually earning it,
Right.
the whole thing would get cleaner and better.
Well,
but
and
it's
we
just never
found
going
that
to
out
happen.
with our affiliate program. Is like the first thing a lot of these people asked for was, well, what's my discount? What
Right.
can I offer to somebody else? Well,
Give
it's
me a
like,
discount. Give me a discount. Give me a discount. Dude,
But you're
you
getting
haven't-
paid.
You haven't driven
All
us
you-
one order yet. Why am I discounting anything for
right.
you?
All you
Right.
have to do, and we made it pretty simple, and a lot of the affiliate programs make it really simple out there. Just take a link, post it in something by the lure,
Right. And when someone buys it,
and they click
You
on it.
get
'Cause we had the
paid.
most generous
Real
cookie
money.
policy in the industry, pretty much.
yep.
And we still
now-
got, well, I just can't, I'm not successful at it. Well, then
didn't
you're
work
probably
at it.
You
not
got
a
to
good
learn
sales
how to
person.
be
Well,
successful
but
at
we've
it.
even had
It's like a job.
We've even had certain individuals though that did it.
Super successful.
We're
at
super
it.
successful at it. Won't do it again.
Won't do it again.
Right.
What?
And got
What?
paid a lot.
You got paid a good chunk of money for
One video.
one video.
Guy did one video.
Yep.
Super successful. Sold tons of stuff off of it. Never did another one.
And we compensated him.
And what in the hell is wrong with this people? What is with people?
What do you
they're
think
just-
about that opportunity?
They're just so unwilling to work. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
Right.
That's the deal nowadays, though.
So So okay, back to the sponsorship thing.
I thought we were still on it. Did we leave
Well,
it?
I'm just sort of like circle back around. I mean, to hit on some key
Coming back
points.
around. We're
Coming back to the
circle-
positive side
circle-
of sponsorships.
Yeah,
Circle
circle
back.
back around. So
I gotta be out here in 40 minutes.
okay, so it's fine. It's 1 o'clock already. So build yourself as a brand.
Right.
Even though you may
You
not
are
be,
your own
you
brand.
are your own brand. But
know
so
what you're
before
talking-
you start knocking on other guys' brands,
Know what you're talking
Getting a
about.
sponsorship is exactly like sales. It really is sales because you're selling yourself.
sell yourself.
And if you don't sell yourself,
Not on the black
then you
market.
have nothing to show for.
I mean, if that's what it takes.
Not on
I guess.
Backpage. We're not talking about that.
Yeah.
We're here on sponsorships. No. But no.
If you see
People
Matt,
seem
if
to-
you see Matt on the pole this weekend, he's just trying to hunt.
Hey,
right?
I'm
Tip
just
them
trying
well,
to-
okay?
trying to
Times
pay
are
my-
tough.
just trying to get out in the woods.
Try
This
to
stuff's
pay my
expensive.
sponsorships.
Have you ever seen how expensive this new stuff is? He's just trying to make some money.
But no,
Just
sell
grinding,
yourself.
baby. I'm grinding. I'm out there grinding. Sell yourself.
Okay, but here's the thing. If a stripper can have social media pages, so can you. Because this is a
Amen,
lot
brother.
more approachable.
Yeah. Man boobies and man bods are in. So
Dad bods are in.
dad bods are in.
Welcome
Thank
to the
God
future.
for us.
Could you
We're
imagine-
finally here. We've toughed it out long enough and we've
Could
made
you
it.
imagine if there was an adult club where that's all they really specified it was like
Dad bods?
dad bods? And
Isn't that just Applebee's?
Wait a minute. They get on poles and
I don't think there's any polls in Applebee's.
Yeah.
Unless you go to some
But like,
different
could you imagine that? Like, oh my god, dude, we gotta go to the strip club. This is the best one it is. You just walk in, there's like, just like flab everywhere. What the hell did you get me into? The next thing you know, you're a repetitive customer because it's real life.
This is what real looks like.
This is what real looks
Oh,
like.
who sang that song at Real Life? Wasn't that wasn't Luke Bryan? It was shoot, Jake Owens.
Oh really?
Yeah,
I didn't.
he's got a whole song. You've heard that song.
I've never
You
heard
heard
it.
it?
We could play the song on here, but then YouTube would just kick the video out forever.
Yeah.
Whatever song on there.
So yeah, you start building your own brand first and foremost before you
Definitely.
just go asking.
Know what you're doing.
And the fake it
What
till you
they're
make it
all
mentality
means.
doesn't work.
No,
Know
Just
what
be
you're
yourself.
talking about.
No, you can't.
And
do
like
that.
you had said before, I'm gonna circle way back around to
Either that or
the
just become a
band
hot
kid
chick.
thing.
That's
Yeah,
it.
or be a hot chick.
Or be
Right.
a hot
There's
chick.
always
End of
that
the story.
avenue.
Hey, white male privilege, I don't buy it. White female hot privilege,
Oh.
that's bigger than anything. Nobody talks about that.
Well,
Nobody
I'd just
talks
say
about it.
all female.
And everybody's okay with it.
Right.
all female hot privileges are. Yeah, come on.
It's true.
Who was I telling?
Life-
It's rough,
life
man.
is not fair.
I was born an overweight white dude from Middle America. Life isn't fair to me. Okay.
We're at a party this weekend, and there was a bunch of like teenagers run around, and they were talking about TikTok. Okay.
Yeah, the new app.
The new app. Yep.
It's a lot like Instagram, but it's all videos.
All videos. So they're talking TikTok, and I go, "Oh, is that a TikTok video?" And they're like, "How do you know what TikTok is?"
You were like the creepy old guy.
Well, I wasn't like peeking. They were
Oh,
they were
okay.
showing they were doing this
Oh,
dance move
okay,
on
yeah.
TikTok or whatever, and I go, "I got a TikTok account." Yeah, right. I'm like, "Yeah, I do. I don't know what the heck I'm doing on it, but I started one."
I think we need to have one. That's gonna.
I have one.
I think you'd be good at it.
I started one. We have I have a TikTok account
Real Shot does too, we just
Gary
don't
V
use it.
says
I
that's
know.
the next latest trend. But anyways, so then I started talking about this Instagram island that doesn't exist but does exist. I'm like, I just want to go to
Toss
Instagram
some,
island.
some Instagram education out there. There is an island somewhere. Convinced of it.
It's gotta be, man. Just nothing but.
Next year,
Scantily
next year at
clad.
ATA, we're just gonna walk up to everybody. What island did you come
Yeah.
from? Is there really an island?
Can I get the GPS coordinates to Instagram island? Because I know.
Can you
it
drop a
exists.
pin next time you're there?
Yeah. Here, show me on my Onyx maps where Instagram Island is, and let me see if it's if I can access it from the. Zach's gonna get his pilot license, so
Yeah.
we're gonna.
I'll airdrop
find it.
you in.
That
It's
location is
Instagram.
definitely not known.
No,
For sure.
Nobody knows.
but it exists, dude.
I don't know.
Seriously.
It's interesting.
So
It's got to be out there. But anyways, unless you're a hot chick from Instagram Island, you're gonna have to work for it.
you're gonna have to work for it, and you're gonna have to. Just
It's gonna be a struggle. You
Well,
got to be
no,
open-minded.
The flip side of the hot chick Instagram Island thing is they got about a 5-year window there where that's going to work for them.
true
Yep.
story.
What are they going to do after that? You got about a 5-year window. Where
Then they
that's
go to
gonna be your
Facebook
thing.
Island.
Then they go to Facebook Island and sell things like Norwex and Unique.
yeah, Sensi. It's Sensi.
Well, no, but you look at these guys, these
Oh, we're
bass
terrible.
guys that have built big brands. That's what they've done. Is they've built brands that are now lasting for long
Right.
periods of time.
Well, and that's the
Way
thing.
past
though,
when you look good in a bikini.
right. And you just have to be good at it, and you have to stay true to it. And you have to realize, too, the first video you make, the first photo you post, and the first anything you do isn't going to be the greatest thing you make. But it's getting that first ball moving. It's going to allow you to get the rest of it going.
Unless you do a fish brow picture, then you
It's
would just blow
instant.
up. If you're good at holding fish brow pictures, you can blow up crazy like.
Is that one of your favorites, Matt? Is that what you're telling
No,
me?
I don't even. No,
You go
that-
from like 1 follower to like 72,000 from a fish bra picture.
Yeah, you do.
You know we could do those now.
Yeah.
I don't know if people.
How about a fish belly picture?
Right.
First of all, I'm not going to catch fish that are big enough to cover up my belly. But we can do that.
We'll have to go for carp. We're going for carp.
Right.
It's like the-
Flathead.
It's like the exact opposite of that ESPN The Body magazine or whatever they got coming out now. That Yelich on there.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my god.
But side note, did you?
Tyson says they learn how to fish during that 5-year period.
That's true. That's what they do.
Low key though, that's what you see a lot of is these people that are Instagram influencers in the fishing industry, like the big ones that go from all bikini photos and no fish to one fish picture that gets them all of what we call as millennials the clout. And like, boom, there you go.
You call it the what?
The clout. It's just clout chasing.
I think clout's
like internet fame
Sounds like
and
some
money.
kind of fungus in between.
It
the
does.
No, I was
Now
gonna-
that you say that, it sounds horrible, but
yeah.
that's just what it's called. Clout chasing.
But hopefully people learned a lot from what we're talking about. I mean, it's just.
I think all
rambling.
we've drilled home was that you cannot be successful unless you're a chick from Instagram Island.
That's a big part of it.
I
It's a
mean,
huge part
are
of
we
it.
wrong?
I don't know, not
I
really.
don't think that's all you have. I'm just the other flip side of that is you got to figure out what channel you're in, stay in your lane, and do
Yep.
your own thing.
Play to your strength.
Don't try
On
to
the reel.
be
Bringing it back to the
everybody
reel.
else.
Don't go out. Don't go just like help me, son.
Right.
Help me become a professional.
When you
fisherman."
come in here and you ask one of us what we're gonna sponsor, what we're gonna give you,
Right.
I always says no in my head before I even hear you out.
Right.
If your entire approach is I need to give you something,
Right.
I'm gonna say no.
Well,
right away.
here's just an example.
I guarantee I'm gonna say no. There's no chance I'm gonna say yes to
I've
that.
been at the Real
Right.
Shot for 6 years, and I'm finally close enough to like almost have a semi-sponsorship from the Real Shot. Like Brian's actually trusts me. to
Your
go-
free bowl every year doesn't
Yeah,
count.
yeah.
No, jeez.
Yeah, come on.
God, that's
I mean,
brutal.
God, what a
Ouch.
dink. Hey, but
You get a free bowl every year,
I
and
know.
that's not good
I
enough.
love it. I
That's
love
not good enough.
just like
Nothing's
Justin,
ever good enough.
Just like Justin, just got to poke the bear when he's at his finest moments. But did you see like people going for a long time? Did you see Adam Vinatieri's possibly going to retire?
No, I did not.
I
didn't see
heard
that.
that they're talking. I know we're way off
don't even
track
know who
now.
that
I
is.
thought he retired already.
No,
Obviously not.
no. So the story was I heard this on Bob
Who's
and
he
Tom.
kicking for now?
Is he still in? I thought he's in Indy. No, he's a Patriot, right?
I have no idea.
Who does Adam Vinatieri kick for?
I don't follow kickers a whole lot, Matt.
Well, neither do I. But the only reason it
What kind
was
of island are you on? Following kickers.
But the only reason I brought that up is because on Bob and Tom this morning, they were talking about that, and Chick McGee is a huge, obviously, football
Oh,
fan.
Tim says he's for the Colts. Still.
Okay, so the Colts. But he
Should have retired when Luck
he
retired.
missed, like, some field goals back-to-back in games. And, like, I think he also holds the longest streak for not missing.
Sure.
He's 47 years old playing in the
Unbelievable.
NFL.
Well, he is the kicker.
He's a kicker.
I mean, there's not a lot of physical demands on the kicker.
But
Just saying. Now,
but
Tom
they're-
Brady playing until he's like 80, that's a big thing.
But obviously we haven't seen anything, so it's not official. But like they were talking to him, they were like,
Oh, E.C. Davis says he plays for Tennessee. No, now he says Indy. All right,
Sorry,
it's
Indy.
the Colts.
but yeah, he just made an announcement like, hey, you'll hear from me tomorrow, on the whole thing. So like
My right leg doesn't want to swing
he
anymore.
does, he's shanking a couple, and now
He's going out there with a cane,
he's
trying to kick the ball.
Well,
He says he's on Hot Chick Island at the moment.
he's scrolling through our chick. See, man, I think
It's honest though. You're going through. You're like, these people don't exist. This is
No.
not the real world.
No.
Seriously,
This isn't real.
this is not real.
We're living in the Matrix now.
not real
hey,
shit.
listen, dude's 46 years old. Yeah,
Yeah, that's
46,
amazing.
Yeah,
47.
that's nuts.
But Instagram Island, like, I blame those algorithms why I get to see Instagram Island
Right.
pictures.
It's not because there's 72 pages you follow of Instagram Islanders. and nothing else. Maybe one deer
Hey,
page.
this is what I'm gonna say. It's one Aaron push over here. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Then the next thing you know, your feed is just nothing but Instagram.
I accidentally followed this hot chick with a fish bra. Oh no! How dare! Look at all these recommended posts that I'm liking. Heart. Oh, my thumb just keeps double tapping that. I don't know what to do.
That's weird. That's weird. Like I swear this was an accident. These stupid algorithms. I blame algorithms.
It's all the algorithms.
The algorithms.
It is.
It's either that or Instagram is just biased. That any post that comes from that island is just in everyone's feed.
Everybody's feed. See, that's what
Priority posts.
That's what you got to do if you're looking for a sponsorship, and that's what we got to do.
Set your
for the real-
geolocation if you find it to
To
Instagram
Instagram
Island.
Island.
And no matter what you're doing, you'll become Instagram famous.
Well, see,
You know,
that's
all
the
the
thing.
years I
You
never
gotta-
thought we'd be talking about Instagram Island on here. Has anybody ever thought about that? I know we've talked about it
Oh,
here
yeah.
a
Oh,
lot.
tons of times.
No, but I mean, outside of here, have other people thought about naming an Instagram Island? Is that like a thing, or did we come up with that?
I don't know.
Should we have trademarked that?
Should we trademark Instagram Island?
TM.
We couldn't
TM.
we couldn't-
Instagram Island.
Does
brought to you by
that
the
does that Instagram exist? Because we could just get famous off
I
of
don't
those
think-
kind of posts.
I
We
don't
just have
think
people
we could
submit them
actually
to
use
us.
the word Instagram. We'd have to call it like
Insta Island.
Gram
We
Island
could do
or something.
Insta.
Right, yeah.
And then
Well,
we'd probably
be
still
okay.
get sued.
but here's the deal. All my posts from here on out for places,
Hashtag-
I'm gonna go for places. There's always gonna be Graham Island or Insta Island or whatever. I want to see my followers just go poo, right through the
I
roof.
don't think actually just talking about the island is going to help your
Yeah.
followers.
Because they're going to be going through their feed of all these hot chicks catching fish.
They're gonna see
and they're going to be
me.
like, who is this middle-aged guy?
Who's this
How
fat
did
guy
he
with the
get
fish
here?
gut?
yeah, fish gut. He can't grow a beard and he's overweight.
And his food plots suck.
You should follow Grim Outdoors on Facebook and Instagram.
Oh, there you go. See, they're. I guarantee you, there's about 12 people right now looking them up.
That's smart. So
There's actually an Instagram that I followed for a little while. It was Bass, Bucks, and Babes. And then I realized there's no bass or bucks in any of their
Right.
posts. I'm
all
like, wait a
babes.
minute.
They
You were
have-
just trying to be a good guy.
Right.
there again, that's that errant push
Yep.
of let me check this one out. Then
That's
the
a cool
stupid
one.
algorithms just threw it.
All the algorithm's fault.
Yeah, they
I'm
had
pretty sure everything in today is the algorithm's fault.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
It's all the algorithm.
That's all I'm gonna blame it on
Blame it on
forever
it.
and
Oh,
ever
yeah.
and ever.
Yes, the algorithm here says every 15 hot chicks I get one post of Matt shirtless. Oh, no.
Well, one in 5 sales equals a no, so remember that.
5 out of 1.
5
Or
out
so-
of 1.
Some a ratio.
Yeah.
A ratio of sales equals no's.
Ratio.
I think we got to come up with a name for that island. I don't know if anybody else
Are you
going to
look at it right now?
We'll have to
Just
make it an
go into
official
places.
Should I
micronation
see if I can
too.
Google
Yeah,
Instagram
did I bring my
island?
phone? Oh, yeah, it's right here. Go into your places and just type in Instagram Island and see if it comes up. But, yeah, I think this
Yeah.
was a good topic. I mean, the sponsorship thing is hopefully
Well, it's
people...
a big deal. I think a lot of people that follow our shenanigans know we're big into
Right.
tournament fishing as a whole because I like
Right.
competitive
And if you
stuff.
take anything away from it, just work hard, be
yeah,
yourself,
I got
play
a
to your strengths.
follower. I got a Facebook request. Hey, don't Facebook request me. Like, I'm not running on Facebook.
Yeah, his wife checks Facebook. Don't go on there.
Well, you can. I don't. She can look at my phone all she wants. Like, she knows that Instagram Island exists. She's on it.
Brownie points.
Wow.
Brownie points.
Just raise it. Are you actually looking up?
I was
Instagram?
actually-
Somebody just earned 1 more hour of hunting time.
Yeah.
Tim said it was him. It was a dude.
Yeah, it was Tim. Thanks, Tim. Thanks, Tim. I know.
awesome.
I don't see that. Yeah, come on. That's awesome. Yeah, but actually, Josh Credo sent me a Facebook request too.
Oh, nice.
So
You got it with the dudes now. Good job.
Yeah.
I've got a pile of Facebook
'Cause
friend
they know
requests
that
from this
they-
show, and I'll be completely honest. I hope they all understand that I don't post anything outdoors related for the most part. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't. I do.
It's funny.
I
do.
will when I'm fishing, but it's been a hot minute since I've been fishing, but I should probably get back out there.
Tell me about it.
Anyone else want to see my microfish posts? Head on over to
Yeah.
Instagram.
I had a goal
I
of.
missed the microfish talks.
Yeah, what the hell is that?
I
I just
learning
took a
all sorts
break.
of stuff.
Well, now with the weather being like this, I think it's ready for me to get back out there. But
I had all intentions of hitting the water for like 2 hours last night.
So did I did actually.
Go to the boat, flat tire,
womp womp.
pump it up, hole in the tire.
Really?
Dun, dun, dun.
So you didn't just pick it up and just carry it down there?
I thought about
all
it.
manly like?
My
You know, if
father-
you were from Instagram Island, you'd have a tire sponsor.
Yeah, right. I'd have a
6
lot
or
nicer
7.
boat than what I'm driving around in
6
too.
or 7 tire sponsors.
Right. But my father-in-law was like, "Oh, you should be fine. Just go fish, and it should be fine. Just bring the air pump along." And I'm like, I don't feel like gambling with that.
Right.
Yep.
All
All right.
right.
Well, I think that's
Well,
kind of everything.
yeah,
We've been
that's-
going for an hour and almost 15 minutes.
Not gonna lie, I posted some pictures of my girlfriend and tried to hitch her
Onto the island.
nice to get within 50 of 1,000.
Dude, I noticed that. My main like account for all my like garbage posting gets to like 950, starts to creep. I got to like 998 one time, and then just
Why?
falls off. I don't know. It just goes up and then down, but it stays right in that
Your
little.
followers do?
Yeah.
Really?
I mean, I feel like with Instagram, though, a lot of them are fake accounts that follow you for the most part. So
Yeah.
I agree with
they start to
that.
get it deleted, and then
I think
they
there's a
go
lot of
away.
I think that should
Instagram,
be-
please stop deleting fake accounts. It makes me feel better about myself.
That would be another show. Is I would like to get on somebody who's like built their following that high and see what it took for them to do it.
Well, I'm sure.
Like get a
they
guy's
could.
perspective and a girl's perspective
Right.
on here, and see what if there's any.
Right. Some of the girls you would just not even have to ask the question. But it would be interesting to see if they would be honest about it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, so the nice thing is, though, is you got to give credit where it's due, and a lot of these people put in a pile of time and effort to maintain that image to be able to stay that relevant.
Oh, yeah.
So that's still a lot of work.
Oh, absolutely.
I love
But you
it.
just get a leg up
There's
once in a while.
So many people like try to get props to their pages. Tyson's like, check out Eagle Outdoors. Thanks. I'm gonna do
Shameless
that.
plugs, man.
Yeah, whatever.
Check me out on Hot to Trot Instagram.
See, that's part of your problem. If I was your manager, I'd be like, you got to change your name, dude. That's just weird.
Why? Zach thought my name was clever.
I don't.
I
think-
liked it.
You like it?
Yeah.
What do you think it should be?
Sounds like it's horse related, to be honest with you.
It does actually. The first time that we had talked about it and I followed you on
Well,
Instagram, I expected
hey,
to see some horse
hey.
pictures and I got nothing.
Well, that's all I can say is well.
Well, it's not about horses.
You're not even relevant to your own name. We'll come up with a new name for
There's
you.
a saying, something about a horse. Well,
I'm not following.
I don't want to say it out here. Anyways,
That's
let's wrap
probably
up
good
the show.
All right, let's get this over with.
All right, sounds good.
Well-
Grim Outdoors, a lot of messed up videos and drinking. Well, there you go.
There you go.
Sounds like a fun
If you
place.
don't stay active enough, that's what Megan said, and that's what I'm finding out. It's hard.
It
All
is.
right.
You gotta
It's just
stay
not worth.
active.
It's just not worth. Sometimes worth the time. So.
Cool.
All right, cool, everybody. Hopefully, we answered some of the questions on what it takes to get a sponsor, or if you are a company looking to sponsor people, do a little homework on your own, and it should be a lot better. But we are closer and closer to head-to-head fishing. It's coming up.
2 weeks out.
We have a lot of awesome graphics that Zach and Megan and Brian, you guys are working hard on. The anglers are, all set. They're stoked. A lot of them are pre-fishing right now. Some are doing well, some are not doing so well, according to what we hear. But there's fish out there to be caught.
Well, a lot's going to change in the next 2 weeks with the weather, too.
Oh,
I mean,
man,
it's
we're
that
coming
fall
into some
turnover
awesome
time
fishing.
frame. And
Yep.
Coming up. So make sure that everybody just follows head-to-head fishing
Yeah,
page.
head on
and
over
we
to
have an
Instagram
Insta
and YouTube.
page. Yeah.
YouTube, if you go over to YouTube and you check out Head to Head Fishing, you'll be able to find the full video from our seeding show, but then also be able to find our each angler that we talked about on the show. You'll be able to see their individual snippets too.
Oh, nice.
So if you're watching this and you're an
Davis wants to know
angler,
free price match.
Hey,
it depends, man.
yeah.
Just maybe if you bring us in a digital or paper copy of an advertisement, we might be able to help you out.
yeah. Or the coordinates to Instagram island.
Yeah, that would get you some price matching.
Yeah. Of course we do. We do, buddy. That's a great plug for why we price match here at The Real Shot.
Awesome.
And before we let everybody go, we have some awesome sales going on right now. We have
Tons of rebates.
up to $150 off select bows.
I thought Mark said 200 on some. No,
it might be 200.
I thought he said up to 200.
We advertised it at 150, so they're going above and beyond that. Perfect. Well, basically, just come in here. We got some awesome deals on bows. Zach said it. There's firearm rebates,
firearm ammo discounts.
crossbow rebates.
We've got everything's pretty much on sale, in one way, shape, or another right
Yep,
now. So
yep.
stop on in or head over to the website.
If you are waiting
therealshot.com.
to buy your camouflage, you do not need to wait anymore.
It's ridiculously
We
cheap
have
right now.
Camouflage on sale in the store. Footwear's on sale in the store. All our summer apparel is on sale in the store. So again, there's tons of things going on. We're in a transition of bringing out ice. Ice is starting to show up here, trickling in little by little. Justin, what did he say this morning? In the next 30 days,
Yep.
ice will be hitting the dock like
Lots more
nonstop.
stuff showing up.
Right.
So a lot of that cool stuff is starting to happen here. So again, if you're in the market for a bow, crossbow, there's a lot of orange stickers all around the store with price markdowns. Now is the time to get in here. We didn't really talk about it so much, but I know a couple of guys had some really good luck over the weekend. A buddy of mine, his buddies, shot 2 really nice bucks.
Oh, really? Nice.
I got to give a shout-out to Travis Sewell. He's a great customer of the Real Shot. He shot a dandy this weekend, so congrats to Travis. And if you are going out there, I can bring it back again. Just be safe. You know, it's wear your safety harness, wear your lifeline, all that kind of stuff. September is Tree Stand Safety Awareness Month, so do not be a victim of that kind of stuff. But again, thanks everybody for tuning in. We'll be back here again next Monday at nooner, and we'll talk to everybody probably then.
Sounds good. See ya.
See ya.
everybody.